It's a new dawn watching over the Hill City, and after 5 seasons of hiding in the shadows, the Schellenberger Classic is back in brighter for the 2025 slate. It's Friday night soccer on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network, featuring the first ever meeting between the New Jersey City Gothic Knights and the Lynchburg Hornets. Hi everybody, welcome to Lynchburg, Virginia's Schellenberger Field, the site for the first soccer match of the season here in the Hill City, as the Hornets had a pair of affairs on the road. They get a win and a draw on their trip to Salem, Virginia, and back here in Lynchburg. We are so excited. Evan Gates and Kevin Nestor taking you through the action. And Kevin, we see a very new Lynchburg squad. We see a Gothic Knights team that has found success early in the year, 3-0. Should be a really good toss-up.
Yeah, both of these teams are off to a pretty hot start, and you kind of touched on the Lynchburg, the youth that they have coming in, the inexperience. They kind of filled into spots, and they look just like Lynchburg of old, right? We kind of expect, they got off to, this is their third straight 2-0 start. The last 2 years, not to say that was expected, but it didn't really surprise anybody with the talent that they had. This year, this team, really young players filling into some key roles. They've really stepped up.
Well, safe to say Salem has been a very fun spot to play for Lynchburg, as last year they went on the road and a very similar set of results that didn't allow a goal in the first 180 minutes. They've done it again, but this year, as you said, a new squad, particularly on the defensive side. You see almost an exclusively new back line, and you feel like not only replacing veterans, but replacing former All-Americans is not always an easy task.
Yeah, and it's impressive to go on the road and do that with such a young team. I almost want to say it makes a statement. You go on the road to a tournament that had some really good talent, and you go out there and you prove a point, pitching 2 shutouts. It's really impressive for the young talent that Lynchburg brought in.
Well, let's talk about New Jersey City. Coach Anthony Twista, now in his 10th season, has really brought a renaissance to this squad. Earned his 50th win versus Manhattanville, and this is a New Jersey City squad with a chip on their shoulder. A lot of veterans on this team. They understand that they can compete at the conference level, and their first 3-0 start since 2011 has really brought a lot of energy and confidence.
Yeah, and you can't put into words kind of what experience can do for a team, and I think this is kind of the epitome of it. You're seeing what these veterans are able to go out there and do, 3-0 for the first time since 2011. I think that's kind of their statement, if you will. I think it's going to be a really interesting contest, kind of experience versus newcomers, kind of see what's, I don't want to say generation, but college generation gets the advantage, if you will.
For sure. Still early in the season, too. So much to learn. And for this New Jersey City squad, they're relying on one of their veterans for a lot of the success. Number 10 in the green and gold has had herself a start to the season. Nairoha Alvarenga, midfielder from North Bergen, New Jersey, starts the year with 3 goals and an assist. And she's someone who, Kevin, when you look at the number of contributors on this squad, several with assists, 6 of them to be exact, but you're seeing the goals start to tally up, and she's having herself a really nice start to the season.
Yeah, and 7 goals as a freshman. I think she came in and kind of made her mark with this program. She was able to come in and kind of set the tone. Was an honorable mention for all conference that year. She actually came out the following year, made the second team. So she's proven that not only does she have that veteran presence, but she's been talented since the moment she stepped into a green and gold uniform.
And on the other side, it's a Lynchburg defense that has received so much of the credit in recent seasons, because that has been the staple for this Hornet squad. If they can defend well, keep other teams off the board, they typically find the success. Well, this year it's a new storyline, and it's headlined by number 1 in goal, Kate Shepard, who comes into this season as a senior, had 5 starts last year, but has immediately provided a lot of that security in goal in 180 scoreless minutes.
Yeah, and she's kind of picking up right where she left off, right? She played 90 minutes in 2 games last year. Both of them were shutouts. It's kind of just routine to her to be able to come out here and pitch shutouts, which is kind of crazy to say. She didn't see a lot of starts last year, but whenever she did, in the game time that she did see, I mean, she was just exactly what you would expect, and it's what we've seen this year as well.
It's a committee effort for Lynchburg. They're going to rely on it tonight in what should be a very evenly matched game. Coach Todd Olson, 500 wins and counting from last season. Anthony Twista continues to show what he has been about with this program. We will see who comes out on top. We'll take a quick break before the start here from the Hill City.
My name is Davion Washington Jr. I have the honor of serving as the student body president. I have 5 little siblings. I'm the oldest of 6 siblings, and they look up to me. I'm setting the tone. I get to develop myself, make myself a better individual, but also I'm helping future generations, not even my family, but just future generations in general, I found my passion here. I found, the love for what I want to do. I've just really had an amazing time here. It's changed, like, my outlook on life. You don't have to be famous to change lives. You don't have to be on the big screen or whatever. I change lives now, and I hope to continue to do that. Just same way that the University of Lynchburg has changed my life for the better.
Think a private education is too expensive? Think again.
Lynchburg and New Jersey City early in the soccer season, and we are so glad to have it back here on Schellenberger Field. The Schellenberger Classic that kicked off earlier with match between Roanoke and Meredith continues on as we have game 2 of night 1. Evan Gates and Kevin Nestor taking you through the action. A fresh 90 on your screens between two squads that have really had success early in the year. Lynchburg has relied on the defense. The Gothic Knights on the other side have really scored at a formidable rate, and they will try to continue as we look at the board. And your team stats as we start the year, it has been the scoring, 3 goals per game for New Jersey City. But you see the assist tally, Kevin. That's something that's climbed in a hurry, and it has really helped this squad that has a lot of possession-based style of play.
Yeah, you talk about firepower. I mean, the stat graphic right there, I think that says all that needs to be said. You're averaging almost 26 shots a game. Lynchburg's going to have their work cut out for them on the defensive end, especially with such a young back line. We talk about, I remember last year I referred to Haley Casey as kind of the quarterback, not only of the back line, but of the team. With her veteran presence and what she was able to contribute to this team, she's gone. You replace her with such young talent on that back line, and now you're going to have to come in against the squad that's got unlimited firepower, it seems like.
Green and gold going right to left. We're underway from Schellenberger Field. The Lynchburg starting lineup on your screen, and some names to pay attention to. Lunden Hartzog, someone in the back line who has really been a staple early in the season. The sister of Noah Den Hartzog, who is actually an assistant field hockey coach here in the Hill City. And their back line has been solid. You see New Jersey City's lineup on the other side, and another stout defense, but particularly the offense we need to pay attention to. Talked about Nairoha Albarenga, who early in the season has already tallied 3 goals. We will see if she is a part of the resurgence in this contest as the Gothic Knights have taken possession and look to advance early. A little bit of contact as Maddie Olson hits the turf. Now the Hornets will possess, and as we have said, a new back line that we will talk about throughout this contest as Den Hartzog goes to the far touchline. Sammy Rogstad, certainly a name that we featured very heavily last season and came into the season as the only newcomer to that defense.
Ready to take 2.
Kevin, got to pose this question to you. Would you rather be in a spot like Sammy Rogstad where you're a freshman joining a very big veteran bunch, or would you rather have a lot of freshmen by your side?
I think being in the spot that Sammy was in last year was so beneficial to her, just kind of seeing how the names like Haley Casey played and just being around that veteran presence of the back line. They offered so much more than just on the field what you saw. They offered the encouragement and the words of wisdom that you can kind of tell that she implemented into her game throughout the season, and she's definitely carried it over here into the early stages of this season.
Now looking to the far side, opportunity for Lynchburg, and it's going to be midfield play that helps this team throughout as Boyce fires a weak pass that'll find the keeper. And talking to Coach Olson before the season started, he said, it's kind of nice when you look at this group this year because you graduate 12 seniors, and you have so many players who almost know the Lynchburg way. But now it's a little bit of a new blueprint, and you think about some of the newcomers, they really feel like they can impact things early in their Lynchburg career.
It's outstanding to kind of see this class be able to come in and pick right up, where last year's team left off. They still have the same blueprint and the same DNA, defensive mindset first. And it's been outstanding to just see Lynchburg be able to fill those shoes.
Far cross, Bruton couldn't get her foot on it. Rattles and stays in the box. Lynchburg has an opportunity again. Here's Madeline Boyce. Still searching, and the back line keeping its shape as Bruton trying to sneak through. Flag goes straight up. Another opportunity for Lynchburg as they have started to pester this defense early. Sadie Bruton, a freshman who has started both games this season, she will get a lot of playing time, and you see immediately making her way up the field, a part of this attack.
As soon as you come in talking about the Lynchburg defense, all it's been so far is Lynchburg offense. That's kind of that commentator's curse, right? I don't mind it. It definitely throws a wrinkle in our plans whenever you hype up the defense and you don't get to see them.
I think for Lynchburg and Coach Olson, they would love to see the offense early because so far Hornets haven't found a first-half goal. Granted, it's only been 2 matches, but the lone goal of the season was courtesy of Michaela Hargrove, another freshman who found it in the second half against Denison. A 1-0 victory in Salem to kick off the season.
But how satisfying is it as a team? You know, you come out, you've only scored 1 goal in 2 games, yet you have a 0 in the L column. I mean, that's just, it's so great whenever an offense still has that time to find its stride because the defense has been playing at the level that this Hornet defense has been playing at.
They're having a lot of confidence, and I think you hit the nail on the head about confidence in just having a lot of contributions in different ways, because this defense is definitely one that will learn and grow throughout the season. As this pass tries to sneak inside, Hornets fish it out, and with space have to be content to settle back. But you do feel like as the season grows and evolves, there is a lot to be optimistic about here in the Hill City. A team that has bowed out at the ODAC semifinals the last 2 seasons, won the title back in 2022 and trying to get back there. Some nice footwork on the far side. Opportunity for Morgan Oliver. Places the pass inside. Now Madeline Boyce can't hold on to it. Gothic Knights almost uncharacteristically pinned back to start this match. Lynchburg presses forward again. Through ball. Tries to file all the way through. Orner goes down in the box. And it looks like the flag was up first. Ooh, you got to be careful, as that was flirting with a penalty kick, but it was offsides beforehand.
It's one of them bang-bang plays where you see the contact happen almost simultaneously as the whistle and the flag goes up.
So a goal kick now for New Jersey City. Sophia Menino in goal from Burlington, New Jersey. Started all 19 matches last year, and today is her 50th start in goal. So talked about Coach Twista, who achieved his 50th win, and obviously some milestones, but just looking at this program and the success they have had under Coach Twista, you think about this is a team in a conference that obviously is highly contested, but a lot of homegrown talent. Everybody but 3 players on the roster is from New Jersey. Here's a pass inside. A benign threat for the moment as Alvarenga is held off. Shepard goes down to the ground and retrieves. Through 6 minutes here at Lynchburg, and still all square.
This is one of those filling out processes, right? You know, early in the season, you're going to see both squads, especially the Lynchburg squad. You know, New Jersey's not going to have a lot of tape, a lot of film on a lot of these young players. So it's just kind of one of those moments to kind of see how they play and how you can adjust your game plan around.
One of the great factors about having this Schellenberger Classic return is that you get to see teams you haven't always seen. As Villarreal sends the ball forward, Bruton tries to play catch-up. Instead, it rolls over the line for a goal kick. And as we said, first series meeting between New Jersey City and Lynchburg. There is a little bit of familiarity. You'll try to find a wrinkle wherever you can get it. We said Nairoha Alvarenga was the player to watch. Well, she actually competes in track and field for the Gothic Knights. Was here back in 2023 for a track meet. But other than that, there's really not much to say about the relationship between these two squads, and at the Division III level, upwards of 400 schools. You can understand why. Little extra contact as Orner hits the turf. Lynchburg will advance forward. You see Zoe Villarreal returning to play for Lynchburg. Missed last season with injuries, and when you watched her back in 2023, she was actually a forward, member of that front line, and this just shows that versatility. When your coaching staff trusts you can play every position, that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, and how nice is that for a coach, right? You're kind of a jack of all trades. Wherever they need you at, you can go in, and it's almost just without a wrinkle.
And Swinger, it's headed out. But Lynchburg still starting to file their way towards the doorstep. Here's Maddie Olson. Ball played forward to Bruton, who was on sides. A little bit of contact, and now a good battle going on in the corner. And it'll go for a goal kick.
Olsen delivered an absolute beauty of a pass right there. Bruton wasn't able to catch up before the defender got on her hip pocket, but Lynchburg continues to find those type of pass analogies. They're going to have opportunities.
Natalia Jaramillo does well just to fend off any attackers for Lynchburg because they have really received a lot of confidence early, especially Sadie Bruton, who gets her foot on it again. Here's Madeline Boyce pressing forward. Opportunity, little bit of space, cross goes in, a bounce, and very dangerous territory as it goes right of the goal. Wow, once again, aggression on display. Morgan Oliver not afraid to get in the mix, and the first substitution of the day is announced as Gabriela Rodriguez makes her way onto the field.
Yeah, and on that possession, 5 green jerseys right around the doorstep. Seemed like that ball found a white one. It's one of those where if you're a Knights fan, you're definitely holding your breath.
Madeline Boyce really front and center for this attack this year for Lynchburg. 10 goals last year, but she started off on the wing, and you're seeing more of a striker position today. There's Lauren Orner. She has done so well. First teamer last year. A class that has progressed very quickly. Morgan Oliver can be the same. Here's a fired shot that finds the mitts of the keeper. Once again, Sophia Menino doing well. She has been pressed into action early, and that's really the trademark for Morgan Oliver, that type of shot outside the 18-yard box. The only goal this year, as we said earlier, from Michaela Hargrove was outside the 18. Maddie Olson sniffs out this attack, a pass backwards, and now the Hornets can try and reverse the field.
You mentioned those long shots. That's what kind of makes this Lynchburg offense so dangerous. Their ability to score from really any level. Yeah, they want to look to get inside on the doorstep, but they're not afraid to shoot, and they're pretty accurate from outside.
Here's Madeline Boyce pressing forward. Chance to get the pass, and it's on the wrong side of the net. Another good attack, and Boyce, who was off balance, still almost had an opportunity to direct it on frame. Hornets gathering almost all of their possession on the right side of the field as you look at this for a second time. Good defense as well, playing it all the way to the goal line.
Really good defense, just a one-on-one foot race.
Can the Gothic Knights get anything to go here in the first half as the Hornets once again get possession? Here's Morgan Oliver. Quick footsteps going back to the goal line, and this time tripped up just short of it. Another goal kick. New Jersey City has really found success from their upperclassmen, and you go back to the start of their careers. Those seniors that started back in 2022, they started off their New Jersey City tenure with a 10-0 victory over Yeshiva. Think about building confidence from the gun. It's a lot of what they've done this year, a 3-0 record, but that's got to give you a little bit of happiness going in.
You come out and you set a statement in a win. It's about all you can ask for. As a team, as a coach, oh.
Extra contact as Olsen hits the turf. Once again, the Hornets won't benefit. Gothic Knights just trying to feel it out here in Game 1 at the Schellenberger Classic as they take on Lynchburg, Game 2 of the day. One of the early days of the season where 7 o'clock start time still means you're going to get a little bit of sunlight, but very cloudy. Ball sent in, and an easy one to get rid of. Heads up as the back line has to be careful. Rogstad does enough. Now the Hornets can press forward. Continue to boast numbers. Just haven't exactly posed the biggest question yet. Lynchburg, a team that found success in the first weekend. They found success on the road last year, 6-0-1 in road games. That excludes some of those neutral site affairs. But Kevin, a big point of emphasis was making sure that the competition was enough to build confidence, but also enough to test the squad. They started last year playing Johns Hopkins and Hardin Simmons, two squads that were ranked, that were really trending in the right direction. And it feels like Lynchburg did well this weekend just to know who they are. As this ball is going to get all the way forward, and Menino is there first as she watches it roll out.
Yeah, it's a really good point, and it was kind of talked about on the Roanoke broadcast. I think Roanoke and Lynchburg kind of have that similar mindset with their out-of-conference schedule. You can always, schedule teams that are towards the bottom of the division and be able to field a stat sheet, but how is that going to help you when it comes time to get into ODAC play, right? Because the ODAC's are extremely tough conference, from top to bottom. And getting that out-of-conference tough, opponent play, it kind of builds an identity and lets you know what you got whenever you get into the heart of your season.
Well, the two teams that have beaten Lynchburg in the postseason here in these last 2 years are Washington and Lee and Virginia Wesleyan, which makes sense understanding the history. W&L received all 12 possible votes for first in the preseason poll this year. Virginia Wesleyan, a squad that has advanced to the past 4 ODAC championships. Perhaps a turning of the tides this year as Boyce couldn't possess. Now the Gothic Knights quick descended forward, but no target as Zoe Villarreal is there first. But the pass goes a little misdirected. Ball sent forward. Shepard stays put. Now Lynchburg content just to possess, even in the back third. A little bit of miscommunication this time. It's sent out. And Ella Fulmer, one of the freshmen we haven't mentioned yet from Stafford, Virginia.
I think both back lines kind of getting tested here early is good for both squads, kind of build that, see what you've got, and it test them a little bit.
Olsen gets her head on it. New Jersey City still pondering. You see almost everyone moving beyond the midfield line as the Hornets have to head out of trouble again. Perhaps a second opportunity. And now Morgan Oliver finds a little bit of space. Jess DeGrastina had a moment. Now the Hornets have a window. Madeline Boyce sent forward. Perfectly placed ball. We'll see if she can find a chance heading towards the keeper. And Menina goes down to make another save.
Excellent possession from Lynchburg. I mean, the defensive stop, as a Hornet fan, you're always kind of holding your breath whenever you've got a team in Jersey City with that much firepower. You're able to get a stop, get it out of there. On the other end, like you said, a perfectly placed pass, an opportunity for Lynchburg. Unable to capitalize, but that's what you want to see, those type of possessions.
Madeline Boyce is racking up the mileage early in this contest, and for good reason. Hornets attacking, just haven't found the goal to show for it. Perhaps this is the time. As Villarreal goes for a throw. Sent in to Boyce. And once again, beyond the touchline. Kiana Jean-Louis from Montreal, Canada. Perhaps a little bit of man marking as Boyce gets in the box. You understand the stats, 10 goals last year. But the threats are beyond the striking position for Lynchburg. Throw is secured by Lynchburg. Here's Bruton. Pass to the middle, disrupted. And Maddie Olsen advancing forward. If you're Lynchburg here, you got to understand the moment as well, as New Jersey City has struggled to possess. Maybe you go a little bit further up the field. Another ball that Rogstad will handle.
I love the mindset there, but at the same time, you kind of got to be mindful of how fast this Jersey City team can get off and running. The last thing you want to do is give them an opportunity to find that window to where we know how efficient of a scoring team they are, a shooting team they are, and they're not hesitant when they get those opportunities. So you just got to make sure you defend that.
They haven't really seen a game like this where they struggle to possess. If you get up to an average 26 shots per game, definitely have to have the ball at your feet. And interesting enough, these last two matches, all of the scoring has happened in one half or the other. Go back to the last match versus Manhattanville, and all 6 goals in the game came in the second half. Just a little bit of whispering in the first, and Lynchburg has fallen victim to the other side of it as they faced Rhodes. It was a 0-0 draw, but Rhodes had 8 of their 11 shots in the first half. Hornets did well to keep it scoreless as Lynchburg wanted a handball that time. Gothic Knights keep going forward, and now Ava Olsen can change to the other side. A lot of space for Lauren Order. Turning it into a sprint. She looks outside as Oliver is ready to redirect. A few extra steps now to her right. The cross, a liner that finds the foot of Bruton and scurries out the other side.
And Lynchburg had a couple of opportunities there, a missed header, and as you said, into the foot of Bruton, just unable to capitalize. But those are the type of looks that if they continue to get, you cannot bank on them missing many times.
Took a late deflection and a corner for Lynchburg, which is a very welcome sign. Only 3 in the first 2 matches so far this year, averaging 1.5 per game. Familiar sight as well as Sammy Rogstad, the southpaw ready to take it. Ball in swinging. Menino watches it sail over the net. And it's another goal kick. No blood drawn yet here in the Hill City. Lynchburg and New Jersey City doing battle in the 3rd match of the year for Lynchburg. Looking promising so far. Madeline Boyce sends the pass forward. Warner with space. Now tail to the other side. Choosing possession over the early opportunity. Here's Oliver. Sends it, and it hits the crossbar just barely over the window.
That whole possession was set up by Madeline Boyce. We've talked about it, and we've seen her be on attack all night. But the pass, they kind of flipped the field, reversed the opportunity. Got a really good look for Lynchburg. You're going to see it here on your screen.
You don't necessarily see a lot of players at the collegiate landscape who have that as a trademark shot. That's the word we use to describe it. But I think Morgan Oliver is more than ready to fire, and it doesn't matter what part of the field.
And that's what makes this Lynchburg team so dangerous, is how selfless they are. When you kind of expect that. But any one of these players, not only can they attack at any point in time, but they can find the open teammate and get a good look.
Goes back to the culture. And this is a team that is very rich in tradition, as here's another shot. Oliver just barely, I mean, if you're inches down, that is upper 90. This year the theme for Lynchburg is Sisu, and it means full tilt, full time. It's a Finnish word, and it basically resembles a lot of that drive that Lynchburg is trying to emulate, and Coach Olson is so adamant about the tradition and making sure that even in season number 32, he is providing that experience for everybody on the field. As the Gothic Knights try to move forward, great defense by Maddie Olson, who does enough. She has played very well in the opening minutes of this game.
Yeah, that was a possession there for Jersey City that could, can really turn into trouble for Lynchburg on that back line. But you saw Olsen kind of put her body on the line, take the bump. All of a sudden, that threat kind of extinguished.
Growing up in a soccer family certainly helps, and it's more than just the game. Also goes back to a lot of the trips that this team takes. Went to Costa Rica in the offseason. The 7th trip that this team has been a part of. And when you get out of the States, you have an opportunity to not necessarily just think about soccer, but being with your teammates and fostering those relationships. It's pretty special.
Yeah, a lot of time those trips, you play soccer, but there's so much more going on outside with your teammates. You get an opportunity to bond, do some community events in different places, experience different cultures. And I think that's really what the trip's about. But you also kind of get a little bit of leverage by playing some more games.
Hannah Phillips just came into the game. Now she has the ball at her feet. Looking for the pass back outside. Villarreal, little extra space. The cross sent in. Golden opportunity saved by Menino. The second header sniffed out. Everything but the goal for Lynchburg.
What an opportunity for the Hornets there. And if you're Jersey City, this is a gift. 2 outstanding looks for the Hornets. I mean, a pass that was served right up on a dish.
Take a second look. I mean, that is a line drive for Menino. Frustrating for Lauren Horner, who thought she had the goal. Hornets still have to wait.
Yeah, if that comes off the foot of Horner, I mean, an inch either direction, that's by the goalie. And the keeper just right place at the right time there. Horner, she's not going to miss many of those opportunities.
Halfway through the first half. Here's Ella Fulmer going down the near touchline. She has extra space. Now Madeline Boyce caught behind. Still sprinting forward, and Jean Louise persists to get possession. All 5 shots belong to Lynchburg. This handball is called, and it will stay with the Gothic Knights. The Hornets definitely feel optimistic after the sample size that they have seen so far. This is a Lynchburg team that after the Schellenberger Classic this weekend, Kevin, they only have one more home game in September. Not exactly the happiest of occasions for us, but this is a team that will get a lot of good competition, a neutral site game with Emory, and you just feel like a good weekend could set the stage for the rest of the season.
Oh, yeah, you're setting the blueprint. And if you can find some wins and stack that momentum and going throughout a conference schedule, that's all you need whenever you get into conference play to kind of start building. And obviously regular season games matter, but you're building for that conference tournament. That's where statements are made, but you got to have the momentum and the chemistry and the blueprint of a team to be able to get there.
Arias Martinez steps in for New Jersey City, and the lone goal scorer for Lynchburg, Michaela Hargrove, makes her home debut. So much excitement in the air, even for a team that could see it as a rebuilding opportunity. They have taken it and flown with it as Hargrove looking to catch up on the other side and just sent out as Lynchburg has a chance to throw it in. Morgan Oliver, we'll see if she sails this long, if the Hornets want to possess early. Ava Olsen goes to retrieve on the far side. Here's the throw, files into the middle of the box. Lauren Orner gets a kick on it that sends it to the sky. Nobody in the middle of the field, and now New Jersey City trying to capitalize. So out of position with the way the Hornets have attacked. Hannah Phillips, nifty move, but couldn't possess cleanly. Now she keeps trying. Gothic Knights all around, keeping the castle steady. Here's Isabella Ramirez. This team can just weather the storm and perhaps take a chance on the counter. They'll have a good opportunity. The problem is Lynchburg's doing it on the other side. Here's Hargrove. Far side, and it fizzles out for a corner.
And for as much as we talked about pregame, the Lynchburg defense was kind of the key point. We've really only seen Hornet offense. You got to think they're kind of disappointed at this stage with as many opportunities as they've had, some really good looks. This game's still knotted up.
Well, it'd be another case of the announcer's curse. We'll have to wait and see as Lynchburg is ready for the corner on the far side. This time taken by Morgan Oliver. Everyone situated middle of the box. Here's the cross, close to the goal line, and goes out the exit door on the other side. Substitution again for Lynchburg. Riley Wampler steps in. She'll replace Maddie Olsen. That sixth position. Olsen has done so well as a defensive mid. A lot of the players on the field are either veterans who have almost found a starting spot all 4 years or newcomers here in the last 2 seasons. Maddie Olsen has really come alive in the last 2 seasons as Hannah Phillips has a chance, filing towards the goal, chance for Orner, and it goes straight up. Second opportunity, Hornets wind and fire. Olsen was clipped as the shot is taken a little shaken up.
Phillips again delivered an absolute dime of a pass, but credit to the Knight defense. They were all over the place, ready to swarm the ball. Anytime it gets on the doorstep, they're ready to get after it.
Lauren Orner is definitely gathering a lot of attention this season as well. And when you have first team as part of your biography, you understand that's one of the assignments. And Lauren Orner has been someone since her arrival here in the Hill City who has found ways to deliver. Coach Olsen said the bigger the game, the better she plays. That'll be the case in a lot of home matches this season. Lynchburg has a fantastic home schedule to go into conference play. Though Real has a little too much contact. Gothic Knights take over. Let's look into that home schedule. 8 home matches this season for Lynchburg. Shenandoah will be Code Red Day on October 14th. Then you get Washington and Lee for homecoming. Bridgewater on Senior Day. Jean Louise able to clear, but just momentarily. Here is Hargrove going to the races on the near touchline, and it'll be a Hornets throw. Travel around the ODAC isn't the worst. Most teams situated in the Old Dominion state, and it's going to be great because You think about those teams that have been in the moments before, well, they're coming to Schellenberger Field, and you know the environment is going to be electric come October.
Oh, yeah, that Hornets game, Code Red game, is going to be absolutely electric. And I was almost going to talk about how it's perfect soccer weather, right? The last week and a half has been kind of that early fall temperature. You were kind of expecting it this week, but it has been hot today.
Felt like 87 as the game began. Very humid. Let's see if the Hornets offense can find a way to be red hot. Come the end of this one. Pass goes in, Lauren Orner, a little bit of trickery, as Oliver had almost overran the pass. Just north of 16 minutes to play here in the first half, and Lynchburg definitely would like a goal going into the halftime discussions. The defense hasn't exactly been a problem to start the year. A chance for them to have their 5th straight half without surrendering a goal. Lynchburg, a team that was just outside the top 100 in goals against average last year, right at .95. Now advancing is Den Hartog. Not waiting, now she hits the turf, and it pays off. A free kick for Lynchburg. Talk about toughness. That was impressive to go all the way from the back line.
It's an opportunity for Lynchburg. Again, another set piece. They haven't been able to capitalize just yet. It's a golden opportunity with time ticking down in the first half. And gain a little bit of momentum.
Den Hartog stands over it with Rogstad on the other side. 5 or 6 Hornets on the line, ready to go. First threatening set piece. Hand down, and delivery in. Wampler gets back to the other side. Couldn't extend her leg to get there. That was a great draw up. Just couldn't execute.
I feel like the passes from the Hornets have been in absolute perfect locations to this point in the game. I mean, they have had their opportunities. That right there just sailing over the head of, I mean, really everybody. Wampler had an opportunity to get a foot on that ball.
The moment has to wait as Warner gets her head on it. Hannah Phillips moves to the middle of the field. Ava Olsen never shying away from the moment. A point from Coach Olsen as trying to find the aggression this year, because the back line for so many years here in Lynchburg has brought a lot of that aggression. They've been ready to go, and you can almost see it. It's a visible feeling. Well, it's a lot more even-keeled this time around from some of the freshmen, and when that moment is big, you got to find somebody who's ready to capitalize.
In the back line, they really haven't had an opportunity to showcase that aggression. I think we're going to see it a little bit here, but for the most part, it's been a Lynchburg offense kind of dominating this game.
Sometimes you got to be careful that you don't become too complacent. Villarreal sends it back to Shepard, the keeper, who skies it out to midfield.
I think that's a great point. The back line, your offense is doing really good. They're having, a lot of success on their end, but you cannot get complacent. You can't rely on that. As soon as you start to kind of lag off and not do your job, just ever so slightly, and you know how efficient this Jersey City offense can be, and they will make you pay in a hurry.
Jocelyn Reyes steps into the contest as a foul is drawn. Free kick on the other side. Elise Pham ready to step in for Lynchburg. It's really part of the entire game when you don't necessarily see a match that goes back and forth as a sprint race. A little bit more of a marathon this time around. It's all about occupying every position. Alvarenga stands over it. A wall of 3 for the Hornets. Little extra spacing for the Gothic Knights. We saw Lynchburg almost line up in a straight formation. Chance on the way, tries to sneak it left, and no problem. So rolls out of bounds, and here comes Elise Pham. Sophomore out of Aldie, Virginia. Praised for her soccer IQ, very creative with her style of play. Actually a valedictorian in high school. She steps onto the field replacing Ava Olsen. Shepard delivers. We'll see who wins this midfield toss-up. Wampler got her head turned, and it rolls out.
for Jersey City, the most consistent we've seen them kind of attacking here. Most time they've had the possession in this game. Let's see if that Hornet defense is ready to make a stand.
And how much of their possession has been along the touchline. It feels like anything in the middle of the field has been gathered by Lynchburg. I think that's credit to players like Lauren Orner and Maddie Olson, who we've seen in those center positions. Here's a cross over the head. Rogstad gets it out. Got to be careful as Morgan Oliver finds space. Now the Hornets can press forward. One-on-one redirecting to the middle, and here's Elise Pham. A little bit of trippage in the middle of the field as Orner goes down. Hannah Phillips now on an island other side. Cross played in, files all the way through. Michaela Hargrove was ready to go.
And as good as the pass was there, the defense was so good. I mean, it seemed like every white jersey had a Gotham Knight right there in their hip pocket.
You got to be so careful, too, because as a defender, you understand you're one slip up away from maybe giving up that penalty kick that wins the game. And a game like this, where it has been 0-0 the entire way, as Hannah Phillips tries to get there, ball just tapped towards the near touchline. You can see the pressure mounting. Hornets not giving an inch. Now Jean Louise is just going to have to jog up herself. And here's a poor pass. Wampler ready to send it to the middle. Elise Pham can't hold on. That's where it gets dangerous, Kevin. You saw Jane Louise, who's been on that back line. If she advances forward, there's a vacancy in the back.
It seemed like Lynchburg was just waiting on an opportunity there, and they got it with a bit of a deflected pass. Jersey City right there playing good defense to make up for it.
Gabriella Cardona was chasing after it. Another substitution for the Gothic Knights. Number 17, Samaya Roman steps in from Union, New Jersey. Under 10 minutes to play now in the first half. Kate Shepard dots the ball, ready to send it forward. Decent crowd as it's grown here in the Hill City. A lot of the students on the far side enjoying those Friday night festivities. Just great to see everybody back on campus at this time of the year. There's a little bit of toss-up from the midfield. There's a look at some of the students on the other side. Kevin, it's great because the last time that we were announcing games, we were talking about final exams back in May, getting everything squared away. Now you don't have to worry about it for a decent amount of time.
And the best part is it's a Friday night, right? Go ahead and get your homework done, come out here, enjoy a game, and now you got the weekend to sit back and relax, maybe enjoy another game tomorrow.
I'm glad you're thinking about homework on a Friday night because I don't think anybody out there on the track is worried about it. And tell you what, just to have sports back at Schellenberger Field, it's a positive sign because the fall makes it a very busy atmosphere. You got field hockey, men's soccer, and women's soccer. All three teams have really found perennial success. Men's soccer, another club that held their opponents scoreless to start the year.
I'll tell you, it's been a long 4 months. Not being in the booth, kind of just missing these type of nights. And you see the students all get to come out and enjoy it. And like you said, the last time we saw students out, we were in the middle of May worrying about final exams and everything like that. Now, you just got a fun atmosphere. No stress. Just come out and enjoy the night.
What a great home it has been to the Lynchburg women's soccer team, and the Schellenberger Classic, just an exclamation mark on that point. It arrives for the first time since 2019. Hornets had to do away with it during the COVID times and just trying to get back to it. Coach Olson was optimistic about getting some teams in the same stadium, and Roanoke, another team that has been at the same facility as Lynchburg now for 4 matches to start the year. Obviously, that's after tomorrow, and they won't play each other until October 1st, so a little bit of time to wait until those two conference foes go at it.
They've seen each other quite a bit, like you mentioned, 4 games in the same facility on the same weekends, but I can tell you that game's going to be a really fun matchup. Roanoke's playing some very good, efficient ball. Their record's not going to show that. It won't reflect it, but I can tell you their out-of-conference schedule, it's probably one of the toughest in the nation.
Warner and Oliver out. Lainey Richmond and Katie Paulette step in for Lynchburg. And the out-of-conference schedule, it's really boasting so many intricacies because think about it this way. I mean, you either play tough teams and then you have the chance of losing against tough teams. We know the ratings and the way that you try to advance. It's not necessarily by beating teams that are just down the road, but it's really something you got to be careful with.
Yeah, I know it's going away from our game, but Roanoke, that gives them an opportunity to build for the teams like the Washington Elites, the Virginia Wesleyans, the Lynchburgs, the opportunity. They're coming in at that 6-7 position in the ODAC poll. They've got an opportunity to build on that and get ready for conference play.
It's always the middle of the table that is going to be a toss-up. And either way, this is a Roanoke team that is probably ready to play a little bit better than that middle position. Lynchburg comes in ranked 3rd, but as every coach will tell you, throw out the preseason rankings. Won't matter until the game is played. Now one-on-one in the middle of the field. Rogstad does enough to disrupt. Here's Den Hartzog. Still surveying. Pass played forward to a running Pham. Won't find its target. Now the Gothic Knights, if ever slightly, have found a little bit of possession. But Kate Shepard comes out and is ready to send it forward. Lynchburg wants the goal here in the final 5 minutes. They'll have to press forward a little more. We've seen those opportunities in the box. But here in these last 5 or 10 minutes, it feels like New Jersey City has steadied the ship. There's Jean Louise, left foot and out. Heads towards the Hornets bench. Tegan Casey steps in. She'll replace Hannah Phillips. Hornets, when they have redirected in this contest, have typically found success. Morgan Oliver, who occupied that far side, had a few nice runs earlier. Right now, New Jersey City winning the midfield, looking for the pass on the other side. Here's Reyes, pestered by Paulette. The pass goes back to Jean Louise. Now Arias Martinez.
Lynchburg doing a great job of not letting Jersey City kind of get into anything.
Oh,
see it there.
Wow. Hornets had a chance and just did away with it.
That opportunity set up just by pestering defense. I mean, even in the midfield, you see no one going unchecked. Lynchburg always having a body on the ball and being able to create those turnovers that lead to opportunities like you just saw.
The longer you apply pressure in a game, too, you feel like you're going to get that chance. Hard to play a perfect 90 minutes. Casey, give and go, middle of the field. This time disrupted. Gabriella Sharp, another one of those defenders in the back line that has shut down business so far for Lynchburg today. Another pass, just barely getting forward.
Yeah, Lynchburg doing an amazing job having a body on a body at all times. Allowing absolutely nothing by them. Defensively, just locking down the fort.
Got to feel like the coaching staff will be content with a first half that looks like this. The Hornets have once again found a way to put up scoreless soccer. Lynchburg frustrated a lot of the fans. Want that call? The referee says we're going the other way. And it is a back line that once again has proven it belongs at this stage. So many replacements this year, but I don't think you can look at it that way. You just got to see it as additions and providing new skill sets. Sometimes when you have the same faces for 4 straight years at a position, it's tough to innovate because you don't want to get away from what has been successful. Those 3 backline players, we talked about Haley Casey, Alora Grokowski, and Claire Lloyd. Well, they all started in that year back in 2021 where it was an NCAA run. Team that earned 15 wins, and when you have that success in year 1, you're probably going to secure years 2 through 4 at that position. Now a bit of a renaissance for the Hornets. Initial tests have been passed, but every game will pose some new questions. Cardona just heckled on that near side. New Jersey City earns the call. Villarreal was frustrated that time. Another substitution for the Gothic Knights. In steps number 20, Ari Flores-Ortiz, senior forward. 6 seniors started those first 2 matches for New Jersey City. The veteranship has been there, a reason why they've been successful. Going up against one of the tougher teams and one of the tougher conferences. Ortiz was ready on that far side. This time the ball sent forward on the clearance. Another open window if Lynchburg can take it. 90 seconds here in the first half.
Great job by Lynchburg. Again, you see another little spark coming from the Gothic Knights. Lynchburg able to extinguish it rather quickly with no problems. Possession still means with Jersey City.
Through sent in on the far side. Gothic Knights still searching, and the Hornets just a bit of a whiff this time. Looks like Ella Fulmer had a chance. Another one of those defenders who has started to stack up the minutes early in the year. Several of them playing all 90. This time trickling through. Shepard goes to a dive and will be able to possess. It's the little opportunities like those where you don't necessarily see it coming, but New Jersey City has really looked at those as probably the best chances all day.
And it happens so fast. You know, for those young backliners, they have to be able to react so fast because you never know where it's going to come from. And Jersey City has the ability to shoot and score from anywhere.
Rogstad sends it forward. Golden chance. Goalie out of the box, and the shot is over. Oh, the Hornets had it. Once again, Katie Paulette winds and fires just north of the frame.
You talk about coming from anywhere. There you go on the other end. Lynchburg, opportunity after opportunity. Again, 2 great chances. Unable to capitalize. Get an empty goal. Gotta have a better look at that.
Coach Anthony Twista and company, a sigh of relief. Lynchburg feeling like they could have had a little bit more. Through 45, we're knotted up at nothing here in the Hill City. We will see if there's any separation come full time at Schellenberger Field. Stick with us on LHSN. We'll be back with your halftime stats and analysis on the other side.
At the University of Lynchburg, you can get a personalized education for the cost of a state school. If you're commuting and you get our top scholarships, you could pay much less. And you get all that without the hassle of giant lecture halls. Our faculty know your name here and do more than just teach. You might even do research together and plan out your next career moves.
Welcome to the Campus Recreational Department at the University of Lynchburg. We believe in a student-centered approach to recreation, making sure that all students have fun and engaging activities that promotes wellness, personal growth, and community building.
Our team works to provide a variety of recreation opportunities for all our undergrad and graduate students.
Let's take a look at the different areas of campus rec.
Campus recreation covers all outdoor recreation. Our team offers dozens of trips per semester, maintains recreation facilities on campus, and offers outdoor certificates and leadership training.
Intramurals is open to all students who wants to play on a team. We have men's, women's, and co-ed leagues for each sport we offer.
Those looking for next level competition can join FloSports. These are student-led organizations with the support of campus recreation. You can join one of our established club sports, or you can start your own with our support.
Campus recreation offers an excellent amount of opportunities to stay active, make new friends, and develop new skills. We hope to see you soon.
Want to have some outdoor adventures while getting a degree at the same time? At the University of Lynchburg, we have an on-campus zip line and road tours. Plus, we offer adventure trips that cost less than a cup of coffee. And did I mention our beautiful scenery? We're a university for students looking for something more than just books. Welcome to your new adventure experience.
I wanted to be a physical therapist probably starting about halfway through college. I love the concept that exercise is medicine. We're starting to discover that exercise really can remedy many of the things that we thought that only surgery or only drugs could remedy in the past. When the student comes here, it's because we believe in them, it's because we want them here, it's because we believe they'll be successful. The faculty here are devoted to their development, not only academically but also professionally. We're not so inundated with things that we don't have time to make students one of our highest priorities. We have your back. We're gonna help you through that. If you're willing to work, then we're willing to put the work into it and the effort to help you succeed.
Lynchburg is all about you, your ideas, and your goals. We've got one professor for every 10 students, so you can get all the support you need. In the classroom, in the lab, or in nature. You'll learn by putting yourself out there, and we're right there with you.
I was really attracted to Lynchburg primarily because my dad went here. He is an alum, so I kind of had that close tie of being interested in the school. And the school had what I wanted to study. I knew I wanted to help people in the area of health and wellness, so the health promotion program was definitely a program that drew me in. And from day one, I've been in love with it, and I wouldn't have chosen any different. I have never had better professors or teachers in my life, and I think here at the University of Lynchburg, the professors definitely care about their students, especially in the health promotion department. These professors want you to be educated, want you to have the experience, and just want you to feel confident going into your career path following your collegiate education. You just feel like you're cared for here and that you matter, and that no matter what, at the end of the day, you're going to be successful. And the people here really want to be here, and everyone has a purpose, and it's just a great environment to be in.
Get your career in the game by enrolling in the University of Lynchburg MBA program with an emphasis in sport management. This program opens the doors to new possibilities for a variety of careers, from being an athletic director or working in athletic administration to working for professional organizations, your favorite team, to running a local Parks and Rec department. And employers are increasingly requesting and preferring individuals who have postgraduate education, specifically looking for an MBA. And so the University of Lynchburg Sport Management concentration in the MBA program sets you up for success, and it sets you apart from the many other people looking for jobs in the industry. Learn from winners. Here you will learn from professors and mentors who have spent their careers doing exactly what you want to do. Increase your marketability in an $83 billion industry. If you have a 3.0 GPA, the GMAT is waived. There's no application fee, admissions occurs on a rolling basis, and our online program is ideal for working adults. When you enroll in this program, you enroll in the opportunity to learn from the best of the best. Your professors have a wealth of experience working in the sport industry that they share with you in the classroom setting. Get in the game by getting your MBA with a sport management concentration at the University of Lynchburg. You know, Hollywood, here I come. Hey, I meant, yeah. The real Lindsay Piper's here. Autographs at
All right, my name is Joshua Carr. I am a senior. I am a theater major as well as a history minor. I love the arts. I love acting. I love entertaining. I live in 5th Street, the historic black neighborhood. The money came in, transfer, scholarship, all that. I appreciate that greatly. I pay my own tuition. I ain't got no help. I pay everything myself. I mean, I'm smart too. So they gave it like, you smart, here, here. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that though. You come here to do a job. I came here to do a job. A student's job is to get that degree and make something of ourselves. We got everything for you. We got you a 24-hour library. You got these sorority fraternities. We got the shoot for you. Is you gonna put it on? That's how University of Lynchburg is. Success is in the details. You know what I'm saying? It's like you learn it, know better, do better. What I love is they allow us to speak. They want our voices to be heard. They want us to talk. They want us to bring up the discomfort. They respect our point of views. They respect Black Lives Matter. They respect the LGBT community. They respect those. You know what I'm saying? That's what I love about my school. They respect that and they allow us to showcase and voice our expressions. I love the diversity here. I love the different interests of people here. I can act, dance, sing, box, play football. I can do it all. You know what I'm saying? I can teach somebody that doesn't know what I know, and that person can teach me something that I don't know that they know. That's what you get here. You get diversity. You get different people with different knowledge coming together, sharing information and helping each other out. That's what I love. That's why I say people. I love the people here. College, think about it. If it's not for you, fall back. If it's for you, go further with it. And University of Lynchburg will be that choice. It's gonna be right there. They're gonna make the shoe. They're gonna do what it do. It's up for you to put that shoe on. So that's what I say.
My name is Alexis Fabula. I major in criminology and I double minor in psychology and criminal forensics.
Through 45 minutes, missed opportunities is the headline of this contest. 0-0 as we head into the second half, and you're going to see some of the chances created by this Lynchburg offense. They really haven't been that far off frame. Morgan Oliver had a decent shot. You see Lauren Orner, a stinger down the middle, but some better goalkeeping from Sophia Menino to keep this game level. Kevin, what are your thoughts so far?
I think Lynchburg has done an excellent job kind of creating these opportunities. The passes have been, phenomenal. You just got to be able to capitalize on some of them. You know, we came into the game talking about their defense in the back line, how well they've been playing, pitching 2 shutouts. They really weren't tested that much, but that's one of those things. They cannot get complacent with that first half. They haven't been this season. They will be tested in the second half. Jersey City got a little bit of tape on Lynchburg now from that first half. They're going to be able to kind of get a game plan together for the second half, be able to recap. Lynchburg, you're going to see the physicality on your screen. It's going to continue to be that way in the second half. Hopefully they can find more of those opportunities to be able to capitalize on a few of them and break the stalemate.
Well, perhaps the physicality is something that you don't pay attention to through the first 45 minutes because these two teams are just trying to get a goal. They're not necessarily worried about those stats in the foul category, but it's one of the halftime stats that might pop out as we take a look. 12 combined fouls in this first half, all 7 shots the direction of the Hornets. They still don't have that goal to see, but it feels like if they play the first half that we saw, they're going to get it.
Yeah, 100%. I think the stats are kind of flipped from what we were expecting. Jersey City coming into the game, almost 26 shots per game. I know it's a small sample size from the early part of the season, but they have been an aggressive bunch. Lynchburg really doing a good job of shutting them down and creating their own opportunities tonight. As you mentioned, if they continue to come, you got to think one of them is going to fall as good as this front is for Lynchburg.
Absolutely, and going back to recent seasons, we talked about how a 3-0 start for New Jersey City is the best since 2011. So you got to go back a decent distance before you start looking at some comparisons. But even last season, it wasn't a terrible start for the squad that was unbeaten through its first 8 games. They don't want to go into that same territory now as maybe other seasons where it were a lot of losses to get things started. If you keep that consistency, it could be a good result for the Gothic Knights.
Yeah, they have been absolutely incredible. Kind of just building on what they had last year in the early portion. You see them come out there being aggressive. And honestly, you know, we talk about the missed opportunities for Lynchburg, which you got to give credit to the Gotham Knights defenders. They've been doing a good job. The passes have been excellent from Lynchburg, no question. But the recovery and the ability to get there and put pressure on those shots can attribute to a lot of those missed opportunities for Lynchburg.
We've been animated about talking about the Gothic Knights shots. Well, let's talk about their opponents' shots so far this season, averaging just 4 a game. Opponents have been shut down in just about every which way. Lynchburg certainly cracks the code in that regard here in this first half, but they do feel like they need that number, a 1 on the scoreboard, to feel a little more satisfied. The shots really from the traditional characters on this Hornet squad. Mentioned Morgan Oliver, Lauren Orner. We've seen Madeline Boyce headlining a few attacks early, but nothing told to get that extra goal. This is a pair of squads that will be in action tomorrow, day 2 of the Schellenberger Classic. New Jersey City will face Roanoke in the first game, neutral site for that contest, and then Lynchburg hosting Meredith at 7 before they go on the road to Maryville the weekend after.
And if you have no plans tomorrow, that Jersey City Roanoke game is going to be absolutely incredible. As good as the defense is playing for the Gotham Knights here, Roanoke's going to test that. They have incredible speed on both edges. Their ability to attack is second to none, with Rebecca Carr leading the charge.
Always an added incentive when Lynchburg plays Roanoke as well. That'll be later in the year, but the Battle of 460 just gets a little more fiery every season. Hornets offense trying to hum early, pass forward. Warner was a touch offsides, but that is the type of energy that Lynchburg wants to exhibit early in the second half.
I don't think they'll be able to kind of carry that out. You know, they didn't score a goal, but they feels like had the momentum going in to the halftime break with the amount of shots they had, the opportunities they had. If the passes continue to be as accurate as they was in the first half, I think one of these opportunities will fall if they continue to get them.
If you're just tuning in on LHSN, Evan Gates and Kevin Nestor walking you through this contest, and all season long you can find these matches on LHSN. It's been a bit of an unexpected start to the season, not in the sense that the results have been positive for Lynchburg, but just thinking about how things have transpired. The defense overcoming everybody, as this time the cross is sniffed out, the clearance stays in bounds, and somehow the Gothic Knights take over. Oh, the Hornets just a step ahead in this game of chess. Here's Wampler ready to go. The cross on the ground, filing to the keeper. Menino goes to the ground.
Beautiful job there on the defensive end from the Gotham Knights. Saw them scrambling. The clearance wasn't successful, but they were able to recover and be able to kind of extinguish any opportunity the Hornets had.
Ball sent into the Friday night sky, and New Jersey City really trying to find their footing early. The call will help them out.
A bit of a trip there in the midfield area. Gonna bring on a medical timeout here. Looks like it's Sarah Reyes down for Jersey City.
They are definitely going to be careful at this point of the season because you don't want anyone to be hurt throughout the entirety of the year. But when you're in September and trying to find a roster and a lineup, that is not a good sign. So Coach Tuesta will take the walk out to midfield. Still early in this second half. Lynchburg 7 shots to none, leading the charge in just about every department early in this game. But not a sign that you want to see here for New Jersey City. And we'll see if anyone will help out on the field. Perhaps a little bit of cramping as Coach Tuesta signaled for a cup of water. That'll be brought on, so Lynchburg will take a moment to regather. Kevin, want to get your thoughts on this as well. I mean, you think about a team that is trying to figure out itself at this point of the year. You got new faces, definitely a youth movement here in the Hill City. What's most important about these first few home games, just getting everybody acclimated to the atmosphere?
Yeah, I think just trying to get on the same page. Lynchburg does an excellent job of just kind of finding players that fit that mold, the DNA of their team. I think they've done a good job here. You know, they had to replace some key players from last season. I think so far they passed the eye test.
A lot of time in a season, and we mentioned the preseason polls. Don't always want to go all in that regard. Lynchburg ranked 3rd to start the year, but so many of the newcomers have been so mature upon their arrival. Lunden Hartog, someone that we have talked about, and this back line for Lynchburg has always featured a heavy number 4, somebody who can go out there and ultimately help win the match in every which way. Haley Casey occupied that number for 4 years. Now, Den Hartog, the one in the back line, helping things out. And it brings up an interesting discussion because the numbers, you would think it's sports. You try to find a number that you like, maybe just stick with it, as the Hornets are having a little bit of fun in the huddle before we get going again. It's a personal choice for the Hornets. Every number that goes down the line isn't retired by Lynchburg. They don't retire numbers. They give them to the newcomers who ultimately resemble those previous players. So maybe you see something in Haley Casey or qualities that you're saying, okay, Lunden Hartog, someone who could come in and be similar. Nat Deacon, who's now Natalie Beasley, was someone who was also wearing that number 4. And so a lot of that expectation is front and center when you join this Lynchburg team, but it just adds a little bit of fun to the equation when everyone picks their jerseys.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, anything you say would probably undersell the impact that Haley Casey had on this team for 4 years, but the ability to recruit and kind of fill that spot, Lynchburg just does an excellent job of really, kind of like you said earlier, effort by committee. They come in, there's no selfish players on the field at any point in time for the Hornets. They're always looking to get each other involved. I think that's the kind of strategy and the blueprint you want to have going forward, to be able to fill shoes of someone who was so impactful.
Hard to replace, and you always remember what those former players brought to the table, but you got to have new qualities, and that's how you keep a team running. It's adapting to the new. So substitution made. We hope Sarah Reyes is okay. She's on the bench now for the Gothic Knights, and obviously tough to tell at that juncture what was going down, but an extended pause in this game. We resume with the Hornets taking possession in the midfield. Ava Olsen twists and turns to the other side. Now Sammy Rogstad has the ball at her feet. Isolation still looking to move forward and running straight into traffic. As it's over the touchline, Jersey City takes over.
I think what's so dangerous about Lynchburg is if you see a lot of other teams play, you'll see them kind of linger around midfield, waiting on a possession to get set up the patience. Lynchburg's all gas. They're ready to go, and they're ready to get after it at any point in time. If they get an opportunity, they're definitely looking to push it.
This time having to resort. Then Hartog sends it back. Fulmer had to be careful, and it's out for a goal kick. Maybe one of the best chances for the Gothic Knights when advancing. So I haven't found that shot. Kate Shepard puts the ball down. 42 minutes to play in this contest, and It'll be another second half opportunity. Lynchburg yet to score in the first half. Now through 3 first halves of the season. This ball, a slow roller forward. Warner tangled up. Hornets will take possession as, no, it's the Gothic Knights holding on. Rogstad was ready to take it by the hands and has to hold on. Either way, she repossesses. Boyce tripped up. Down the near touchline. That's where New Jersey City has lived throughout this game. Got to be careful, though, if you go the other way. The Hornets definitely keeping every part of the field available.
Both squads, you can tell coming out of the half, definitely had a focus on defensive intensity. Picking up right where they left off, making sure the opportunities defensively don't get by them. Being able to kind of slow down and dictate the pace on offense. It's definitely not a factor with as quick as these defenses are kind of responding to the ball movement.
Such a read and react game. We talked about style of play. Got to be ready to adapt. Maybe that's what will keep the Gothic Knights in this fight. Rogstad ready to move forward. Now chance for New Jersey City. Every window closing. Here's Morgan Oliver. Taps it to Wampler. Staying in the midfield and a little extra clipping. That'll make it a free kick for the Hornets.
And we talk about how young the back line is and how well they played it. It definitely helps when you've got the defense that's happening right around the midfield area. You know, there's not a lot of times where that back line is feeling a lot of pressure because the ball's really hardly gotten to them in this game. That's just thanks to the on-ball presence and the rest of the defenders on the field.
Definitely a sign of comfort, not having every opportunity thrown your way. Bruton now on the far side. Just trying to find her way forward. Somehow gets around. Act of wizardry. Boyce comes to the middle. Chance sniffed out. Lynchburg not done yet. This time it files all the way back. And the foot race on. Den Hartog retreats. I think if you're Coach Olson, you'd rather your back line see opportunities now rather than conference play. Go ahead and have some of those tougher opponents to start the season, but you also understand if you give them confidence early and you put up a few scoreless tallies and shutouts, that's going to help just as much.
Absolutely. The keeper for Lynchburg, we haven't really said her name a lot, Shepard. She's really just been kind of the resetter of the offense. And you got to think that's a goalkeeper's dream. No shots from the Gothic Knights so far. I hope that's not an announcer's curse.
A trio of keepers for Lynchburg this year. So far, Kate Shepard occupying all the time in goal. Don't forget Kyla Cass. And just a nice staff for the Hornets as they have constantly found those newcomers and added that confidence early. Alessandra Socio, freshman from North Brunswick, New Jersey. Someone else to keep your eyes on. Maybe the best chance for the Gothic Knights. Again, here's Alvarenga ready to fire. Left foot and blocked right away. It's that type of mentality for New Jersey City right now. If you get any inch, you got to be ready to take the shot because you might not get that chance again. Bruton running down the far side, runs into trouble. But the Hornets still have an opportunity. It's the ball sent forward. Numbers now. Lynchburg in order, ready to go, and the clearance able to stop trouble. Morgan Oliver was all alone on that left side.
Really good job by the Gothic Knights to kind of deny a pass over to the left side. They swarmed to the ball, was able to deflect the pass. So it ended in a clearance.
That left arm extended and a free kick is earned. Morgan Oliver doesn't typically go down easily. Now Lynchburg with their chance. Is this the moment? As it has been a slew of chances, mostly in the middle of the box. But the Hornets out wide this time.
Yeah. For the Gothic Knights, you got to be ready to defend. Lynchburg's missed some opportunities, but you know they're ready to strike at any given moment, especially in this situation where they can run a set piece.
Some dancing in the box. Hand down, here's the delivery. Tailing towards the keeper who gets a hand on it. Bobbled as it stays in the 18-yard box. And now the referee intervenes. Menino is not afraid to get off her line.
Menino just absolutely put her body on the line. Took a really hard tumble after deflecting that pass, but pays off.
How much confidence do you have in your defenders when you go up to the sky to get that chance deflected? You got to know there are bodies behind you.
Beautiful job defensively for the Gothic Knights.
Another chance. Here's Bruton. Speedster on the far side. Directs towards the middle. And just barely directed out of traffic. Only had to beat one defender. Sliding tackle on the far side. Could have been dangerous. Now Ava Olsen. Reversed to Rogstad. Going out wide. Here's Morgan Oliver. Stove starting to heat up the cross, and it fires into the goal for goal number one. The Hornets continue to swarm the box. They stack a one on the scoreboard.
Beautiful job by the Hornets finding the weak side. I think that whole play was set up by Rogstad, being able to find a gap in the weak side, get it down, which ultimately led to the beautiful pass. And there's one of those opportunities we talk about. The Hornets aren't going to miss all night.
It's a tap on the doorstep, and the Hornets able to capitalize. The Hornets on top. There were three bodies in the mix, and Zoe Villarreal, the one to slot it forward.
I think that whole possession was just a display of amazing passing. I mean, Rogstad set it in a perfect spot coming down, allowed a two-man game to kind of take place. Beautiful pass to the doorstep. The Hornets able to capitalize for the first time tonight.
As we said, it was crowded in the box. But Zoe Villarreal is somebody who has had such a comeback story. Didn't play last year. Now on the back line, has moved around the field for the Hornets. She puts the goal on the board, perhaps the game winner. The Hornets have to play through 35 more minutes. It was a matter of time, a great delivery. And Morgan Oliver has been busy on that near side. Several crosses. Not necessarily the goal that you always see with the Hornets. They find a lot of chances in isolation, but it was everybody knocking at the door that time. Hornets still looking and finding their chance. Take another look at what has transpired right in front of the goal. You could just tell that New Jersey City has gone through a little bit of everything in this contest, continuing to bend and not break. That was the lone tally that is adding the disparity right now. The goal was changed to Ava Olsen. Mentioned there were several bodies right on the goal line. So now it's number 11, Olsen, who finds her first tally of the year. Either way, it's the second goal for Lynchburg, both of them coming in the second half. And it is a sign that, yes, this team can play defensively. That back line is stout, but when they need that chance and need the moment, they're still there. Now at this point in the game, you continue looking at the stat sheet. 8 shots for the Hornets, 5 of them on frame. And 2 corners to their name. Every tally that we just mentioned is a 0 for New Jersey City. Morgan Oliver picks up the assist, and the first assist in the 2025 tally. Throw on the near side. Gothic Knights launch it forward. Mentioned Ava Olsen's aggression earlier too. You feel like in a moment like that, when everybody's in the box and you just need one foot to connect, that's the type of player that more often than not finds the answer. Little nifty maneuver from Oliver. Ends up at the feet of the Gothic Knights. They're looking forward. Jane Louise to the other side. Here's Wampler. Some nice defense to keep the possession with the Hornets.
This is a Jersey City squad that they've been in this situation before, playing from behind. I mentioned that win against Manhattanville. They were actually trailing that game. They went ahead to tie the game up and take the game-winning goal within a 2-minute span. So they can strike, and they can strike relatively quick.
Alvarenga was one of the stars of the show in that contest. 2 goals on 6 shots. New Jersey City hasn't even found their first shot today. Mentioned earlier, all 6 goals arrived in the second half.
I think if you're Lynchburg, you definitely got that in the back of your mind. You got the insurance, you're up a goal, but you know the second half is where Jersey City has lived this year. You got to be ready for that charge that you know they're going to come at you with.
It's not exactly hard to fathom that New Jersey City could find 1 goal. Doubtful they could get 2 at the pace in which this game has happened. Here could be the chance. Directed towards the middle. Still bobbled. Here is an opportunity. Shepard out to a dive. It's not over yet. Hornets defending well on the far side. It would be a steep climb if Lynchburg puts up another goal on the scoreboard, but that is an example. New Jersey City not too far out of the fight.
You made that possession happen super fast. And again, blink of an eye and they're ready on the doorstep.
Little extra contact by Orner. Foul is called, and some substitutions as Maddie Olson and Michaela Hargrove get ready to enter the match. One to nothing through 60 here at Schellenberger Field. Just a pinball forward. Alvarenga down. And now Lynchburg defender down. Foul is called on Alvarenga, who is visibly frustrated, but that's one of the calls you're not going to get. Even more contact, almost feels like a football game the American way. Just gaining field position slowly but surely. Now another free kick. Quick pass out wide to Rogstad. Some time ready for the cross, a liner. Out comes Menino to retrieve. And no problems. Far side, Villarreal defending tightly. That has been the type of game New Jersey City has experienced. Every single time just running right into trouble. Their best chances have happened when the ball has been deflected. Maybe Lynchburg has one geared up. Here's Morgan Oliver, one-on-one out wide. Now towards the middle. Some nice footwork, ready to fire an extra pause. Bounce to Menino, center of the goal. A benign threat, but another example of what these midfielders are all about.
Oliver with a couple of really good moves. A really nice look. pretty much dead center. Unable to capitalize.
Scoreline's still tight. Lynchburg will feel like they have had the better chances in this game. And we have seen some very close matches on Schellenberger Field. The last time this women's soccer team took the field, it was against Virginia Wesleyan in the ODAC semifinals. A heartbreaker as they conceded in the final few minutes. Went up 2-0 in the first half. And that was where the season ended. Writing a new script this time, a new supporting cast that has really passed every test. Hasn't conceded a goal so far. As finally, Hargrove and Olsen are able to enter. Aforementioned substitutions. Ava Olsen heads to the sideline. So does Sadie Bruton. Now a chance right along the goal line. Scooped up by Menino.
Really good job defensively for the Gothic Knights. They would have kind of shut down any sort of momentum Lynchburg was coming into the box with there. Maintain possession.
Ava Olsen, the goal scorer in the 55th minute. 2 goals, 3 assists on her freshman campaign. Who wants to join the tally? Now out wide again. Crossed in the air, collision in the box. Got to be careful if you're on the attack. Menino has no problem. That was Michaela Hargrove who hits the turf.
Beautiful job by Menino. Again, you see her coming out, putting her body on the line to make a great grab. I think C.D. Lamb could take some notes.
You gotta watch out. Lynchburg's defense has to be careful as well. You know, it's that time of the year as NFL football making its return last night. Eagles and Cowboys. You got a Sunday full of action. And in college campus around America is going to be pretty predictable on that Sunday. There's Rogstad. Fancy with the footwork. Still looking out wide and better defense. Great work near the corner from New Jersey City. It's a throw for the Gothic Knights. Gabriella Sharp just pressing Rogstad further and further away from the goal. Actually, the NFL football on right now, by the way, Kevin. 7-0, Chargers in front. So, for fans of both football, soccer and the American way, got a lot of entertainment. Here is Morgan Oliver, winds and fires, and way left of the goal.
This is that time of year, right? You kind of mentioned the college campus environment. This is a perfect time for that. I mean, you got so many college sports going on. NFL's kicking back off. And just as a fan of different sports, this is the time that you live for every year.
You and I have this debate every year because there are 2 intersections where so many sports are happening and sports fans are typically pretty excited. It's the fall version and the spring version. As you know, a lot is going to happen in the next month or so. Fans are entertained. Hornets cross to the middle. Hargrove just pressed outside the 18-yard box. Just pestered. Here's the chance that's lined all the way to the keeper. I gotta ask you excited for the fall intersection, or do you like waiting till it's March Madness time? You got baseball coming back in the spring.
This is the time of year that I live for right here. MLB playoffs getting ready to kick off. Brewers about to claim their first World Series.
Oh.
NFL's getting underway. Packers gonna go ahead and add on to that Wisconsin legacy. It's a great time to be a sports fan. And you got college football around every campus in America going on. You're kicking off the soccer seasons. I mean, this is just the best time of the year for a sports fan, in my opinion.
I was just going to say, I think we can tell what fan you are. And you got the Milwaukee references. Wisconsin certainly feeling festive, the way the Brewers have been playing in the MLB season. A game of ups and downs, much like every other sport. But you can enjoy the fact that that is what it's all about. A lot of the youngsters getting out there, figuring out what their squad is going to accomplish. And it starts in the locker room. For Coach Olsen, even in his 32nd season, he continues to keep a lot of those traditions polished. And we mentioned earlier, Sisu, the new saying for the year, full tilt, full time. You're talking about resilience but it's also a genesis, in his words. Fresh and exciting. There's so many unknowns this year. It's just a thrill to be able to be back on Schellenberger Field for what should be an exciting season.
I'll tell you what impresses me about the ODAC is so many coaches and the tenure that they have. It's just 32 seasons for Coach Olson. You know, the Roanoke squad that played here on Shelley earlier today, Coach Ben, his 37th season. I mean, just you can see their fingerprint all over these teams with kind of the DNA that they establish. And it's so fun watching every season with their new recruiting classes coming in, just trying to get them acclimated to that playing style. And for those guys, they're around for a reason. Their playing style works.
Cardona back on the field for New Jersey City. And you think about a lot of the coaches, it doesn't matter what team they're affiliated with. They work in tandem throughout the offseason, talking to one another. And you're not going to be friends with every single coach in D3, but you have your few teams where you really like that company. And for Coach Olson, he has obviously had a lot of relationships throughout his tenure here at Lynchburg, and a lot of them are coaches on the side with him. It's a strong coaching staff on both sides for these teams. You're looking at 8 or 9 coaches, and that's really what it's all about. You want to have as much support as possible, not just as a coach, but for all your players. This year, no different in the Hill City. Another established staff. Here's a cross to the far side. Adeline Boyce, the track star, going to fetch. Cross lofted all the way to the other side. Menino had to watch momentarily. Lynchburg keeps playing on until the whistle is blown.
Lynchburg, again, an absolutely amazing job. It was kind of reminiscent of the goal they scored earlier. Flipping the field, getting it to the weak side where there's not as many defenders, and just being able to attack. Shot was a little wide that time, but again, those are those opportunities that if Lynchburg continues to capitalize on, they're going to be deadly throughout the season on offense.
Not the worst chance from Madeline Boyce either. New Jersey City has really defended out wide, and you got to take what you're given. Don't want to sprinkle any narratives softly either. Madeline Boyce, when we say track star, she was a state champion in high school. Competes for Lynchburg, and as we said with Alvarenga, someone else on the track and field team, you get a lot of these athletes who are polished in so many different facets of the game. I mean, even look no further than Kate Shepard in goal for Lynchburg. She played field hockey and basketball in high school.
I think that's the best part about Division III athletics is you see so many athletic backgrounds coming in, and a lot of them have the ability to be, you know, a dual sport athlete in college. Especially you kind of get that soccer and track and field cross connection.
Shepard jogs out to gather. Don't typically see a lot of crossover between the winter sports and others. You know, basketball is a sport that might pair with track and field. You see several athletes do that, but those seasons do collide. Not as difficult in the fall and spring. Chance sent forward for Lynchburg. No can do as Elise Pham able to spread over. Here's Olson defending tightly on Arias Martinez. A few taps around the midfield, and finally Lynchburg able to possess. Under 20 minutes to go. Here's Hargrove. Through ball. Can't connect with Casey, but a second chance. And now she's sprinting forward. Perhaps one-on-one. Fires to the left side. And Menino out to a dive.
And that is where Lynchburg can be so deadly. It was almost a busted play, if you will. You saw Hargrove nearly turned the ball over, was able to recover from her own mistake, and just find clearance. And a path opened right up to the goal, and she took it with incredible speed. An opportunity there. Give Lynchburg a second goal, but credit to Menino.
I think Lynchburg can tell, too, because Hargrove is getting these chances. She might have another now. Looking to send it forward, pressed to the turf. As the pass goes forward, referee will make sure to call this one a free kick for the Hornets. And another fresh breath.
And that's Hargrove again. You see it just coming out and playing with super intensity. Trying her best to get some insurance for the Hornets. Just under 20 minutes to play.
Pause for Den Hartzog. She wants the wall to move back. As a freshman, that's pretty high IQ to say, okay, let's go and measure this, because you don't want any disparity. Referee will walk the wall a considerable distance back. So we'll see if Den Hartzog is lacing this one right over. Hand in the air, ready to lace forward. Here it is, and in swinger heads, and Menino bobbles. She can't keep it out. A sting operation for the Hornets, all but securing things in game one of the Shelley Classic.
I mean, you cannot draw this up much better.
A beautifully placed ball, and the header right there with it.
I mean, the passing for Lynchburg has just been on point tonight. And again, you see it there. A place where only your player can go up and get it. Menino, who's been tested quite a bit tonight, unable to corral that one.
Lauren Orner has put up the second tally for the Hornets. Pairs with Ava Olsen's goal earlier in the second half. Kevin, that's got to feel good. A game that has been scoreless for about 50 or so minutes. The first tally goes the Hornets' way, and now they feel like they are in complete control. Player down middle of the field for the Gothic Knights. Ball trickles out, and perhaps a stoppage. Gabriella Sharp, who has been all around the field in this game, both hands down, and wants to make sure that she is okay. Trainer will jog out. We talk about Lauren Orner. I mean, Lunden Hartzog is somebody you have to give credit to, because she has been all around the score sheet as well, and that type of capacity. Sammy Rogstad's somebody else. You're not going to see the goals. You're not going to necessarily see the assists, but it's the way that they facilitate the offense on that backside that has really helped.
Yeah, and I mean, you cannot oversell how selfless this team is, and I mean, that goal was a perfect example. You get a set piece, an opportunity to get a teammate involved. Those opportunities, man, they're just taking advantage of them here tonight. Again, you saw some of the opportunities that the Hornets have had. And Rogstad on your screen there, she's the definition of a selfless player. She's kind of been a staple, and it's crazy to say that for a sophomore, but she came in last year and just made such an impact as a freshman. And this is kind of one of those, I mean, few veteran presences, right, on the starting team. That's a sophomore.
You know, we get away sometimes from talking age when we say veteran or newcomer, because so many of those sophomores, like you said, are mature in their game. They understand what it takes to compete at the highest level, as both teams will corral for a huddle as we move into the final 17 minutes. Sammy Rogstad was already in all conference considerations last year. You think about moving forward in a back line that's completely new, at least you have one piece that's a little bit of the glue and has seen what it took in the past to be successful.
Yeah, she's seen it and she's lived it. She's played such success, literally just playing Hornet soccer. I mean, they have a certain DNA, a certain mold that they like to fit. She came in her freshman campaign, and she fit it, from the go. She played all 90 minutes in 11 matches last year as a freshman. I'm sure she's going to up that tally this year. It's been absolutely incredible for Coach Olsen.
Hard to really up it anymore because she was there just about every single moment. If you're just tuning in, Gabriella Sharp is the one who goes to the sideline for New Jersey City, out with an injury already earlier in this contest. Sarah Reyes was taken to the side, so bad to worse for the Gothic Knights, who are just trying to stay healthy in this game. Down 2-0.
You mentioned Reyes. I always want to kind of get an update on those players. She's actually sitting on the bench now with an ace wrap, a brace on her right ankle, so you're hoping nothing but the best for her. Season's very young, and you want to see her on the field playing some really good soccer. She's a high-level player.
One of the tough parts about playing back-to-back nights is the fact that if you maybe have some injuries or even just a few bumps and bruises, that can really find their way into the next day. Reyes, actually the sister of number 4 in green and gold, Jocelyn Reyes. Hornets let it fall out on the far side. Up 2-0. Having everything going their way at this point. 13 shots for the Hornets. Just a lone shot for New Jersey City, and it felt like one that Hornets didn't have to use a lot of exerted effort to deny. Haven't seen a big gasp of a moment yet, Kevin.
Yeah, that lone shot coming off of, just a deflected pass. Able to open up, kind of clear the way. It's really the only error that we've seen in this Hornets defensive squad.
Tough collision on the near side, and an extra moment will be given. Hargrove went down and walking a little gingerly as she gets up. Looks like everything is good. Almost an identical spot to where Den Hartog took that free kick earlier. She was maybe a little bit more in. We'll see if she's looking to wind this one in a similar spot, because it was a 2 or 3 person wall for the Gothic Knights the first time. Everybody's retreating now. And Swinger once again clipped, and Hargrove goes at it on the ground at the doorstep. Hornets still searching. Another whiff from Hargrove. Here's the chance to the right side, and no can do. Ella Fulmer took a stab at it.
Beautiful job defensively. Menino diving effort on the first attempt. Defensive squad coming in to have her back. Able to get a clearance there. Not allow anything by their keeper, who's been extremely tested tonight.
That was a moment that you could tell was featuring a lot of aggression and definitely a lot of confidence from the Hornets. Slew of substitutions for the Gothic Knights. Ellie Goldberg steps in for the Hornets, replacing Zoe Villarreal. Perhaps a straight swap on the defensive side. Searching out wide. This time, Jersey City taking command, but pinned deep. Really a lot of ground traffic for the Gothic Knights throughout this game. They haven't had that opportunity to result in a header or maybe just a cross that's lofted up.
They really haven't had a lot of time in their offensive third. And that's credit to this midfield squad that Lynchburg's had out there. They have just been pestering the ball anytime that Jersey City's had possession.
Well, the possession stat was something that in Salem, Lynchburg wanted to improve, especially in that second match against Rhodes that was ultimately a 0-0 draw. They conceded over 60% of the possession in that first half. Found a little bit of their footing better in the second half, but it was definitely an opportunity where they knew that they could improve and be ready for the home slate. Delivering in the front half as they'll have Meredith tomorrow at 7. Entering the waning minutes of this contest, but all signs point to go for a Hornets team that searches for their second win. Trying to knock off New Jersey City for the first time this year. Team that starts 3-0. Began the season with a pair of wins at Bard College in New York. Then Jersey City had that game against Manhattanville. But undefeated through the first 8 of last season, they enjoy their non-conference. Little extra footwork in the midfield. Hornets have continued to employ new options. I think that's what you want at this point too, because Coach Olson's been adamant about it. You don't necessarily know who's going to be that starting 11 come the end of October. We say that every season, but especially this year with the number of freshmen.
Yeah, and it's been his first 3 contests for the Hornets. It has been effort by committee. We're kind of just gauging what's the best starting lineup going to be. And some of these players have come in and played pivotal minutes off the bench. It's been the Hornets that have kind of had that depth, even after losing quite a few pieces from last season's squad.
They look poised. A foul just outside the 18-yard box. Referee comes storming in. This is a free kick that's close enough for a direct opportunity, and we will see if it's heading towards the goal. Den Hartog and Rogstad, the two to stand over.
Where are we going here, Gates? What's a little prediction we can see? Are we going to see a direct pass?
I think it's difficult when you have a sample earlier, because when it was a straight cross, found the head of Lauren Warner, it looked very polished. You know there's distance and a lot of power for this Hornet squad as well. I'd say 50-50.
That's what makes these set pieces so dangerous for the Hornets. I mean, their passing is excellent, but they're also extremely dangerous from this part of the field when attacking.
I'm sure the defense is thinking the same thing, building the wall. We'll see which direction it goes. Rogstad fires, going towards the left. A whisper to the left. And oh wow, with that one, it's the perfect part of the pipe. It's a 3-0 game.
It'll be extremely interesting to see how close this one was. That one didn't miss by much.
Maybe you're almost glad that one doesn't go in, because if there's film on that the rest of the year, teams are seeing it. That is lethal. Menino couldn't do anything. Vulnerability as a goalkeeper to try and go up and go to the outside. That's one of the toughest parts of the game.
You never want to give credit to an opponent, but if somebody finds one of those upper 90s at such a tight angle, I mean, what else can you do? You can't defend it. That's just, from that distance, such a hard target to find.
Sammy Rogstad, no stranger to having some close calls. Go back to that game last year against Washington and Lee. It was a late opportunity for the Hornets. In the final 60 seconds, Rogstad clipped the crossbar. And what would have tied that game up, and the Generals just found enough. That was actually a non-conference affair, believe it or not. Washington and Lee is in the ODAC, but that was on the non-conference part of the schedule as Menino goes low this time. Taking fielding practice in this match. She has been all around the box. Now quick coverage on the near side. Sammy Rogstad handling business. Just no quit for so many of the underclassmen. It doesn't matter time, place, or score. Kate Shepard staying in between the pipes for the Hornets today has headlined a defensive effort, although she hasn't been called on as frequently as she was in the first two matches. It would be her third shutout of the year, as she already leads the ODAC in that category. And the Hornets putting up a defensive display, but this time 2 tallies on the offensive side.
That's a welcome in sight. Knowing how good Kate Shepard is in between the pipes. You don't got to get called on. It's not quite an off day. It's the closest thing you're going to get. And the rest of your defensive units able to play the way this Hornet squad has.
Lunden Hartzog now ready to wind a free kick. This one high in the air, curling towards the middle of the box and headed out of trouble. Not just the Lynchburg defense that has been stout, but New Jersey City really used it to their advantage at the end of last season. And it's evidenced by the fact that they still found success despite scoring multiple goals in just one of their final 10 games. Typically won't give you a lot of wins throughout the season, but they were staying competitive. They find the NJAC semifinals, and that's where the journey stopped. Hornets trying to reverse the field. Think better of it as it's a slow roller back to Kate Shepard. Hornets in action tomorrow at 7 p.m. against Meredith. Game 2 for Lynchburg in this Schellenberger Classic. This time, far touchline, just barely staying in the confines of the field. Now a slight opening, rolls towards the middle. Is it a third in the vision? Clipped. Now Hannah Phillips ready to go. Collides with Menino.
Beautiful effort defensively by Menino to go ahead and thwart that attempt. Again, it was one of those busted plays that just falls right into the lap of the Hornets. Seems like an opportunity on the doorstep. That's Menino saying no.
Another
Beautiful
chance.
job.
Hannah Phillips still moving forward. The window cross, and it's snuffed out.
As much as we talk about not having to call on Kate Shepard tonight, it's been the complete opposite for Menino between the pipes. Credit where it's due, she's made some incredible saves, but the Hornets have just been relentless in their attack on the offensive end.
9 in the tally for the Gothic Knights. Just a tremendous effort, though as of now not resulting in a win. Lynchburg adds one more wrinkle to the substitutions. They bring in newcomer and another freshman. Ella DeChiavo from New York. Coach Olson offering some instructions to another one of the newcomers, Den Hartog. That's what the great coaches do. They find ways in the middle of the games, especially in a setting like this where Lynchburg probably thinking business is handled. They have 6 minutes until they cross the finish line, but overall, these are the moments where you got to keep your composure. You want to make sure it's a sprint through. Another free kick, this time easy to handle for the Gothic Knights. Fulmer ready to wind, and it rolls all the way to the keeper.
You mentioned Olsen giving some advice to Den Hartog. Wonder how different that advice would be to the other number 4 from last season. Think they quite got that chemistry down where he can tell her exactly what he would tell Haley Casey?
Definitely takes some twists and turns throughout your tenure. But I don't think Coach Olson's going to hold back just because you're a freshman. And he's somebody who truly sees the potential in everybody on this squad. It doesn't matter what the age is, doesn't matter the experience. This team is absolutely re-energized. Only one more home game after tomorrow's affair. That'll be against Randolph on September 24th. CVU Community Night here at Schellenberger Field. So Olsen wants the call, finally gets one. Those one-on-one battles at this point of the game can really start to heat up.
And it's been a fairly physical battle. I don't think we've kind of mentioned that enough. Both squads kind of getting after it, really being aggressive. Starting to see a couple of late whistles here, but it's really been like that all day.
Whistle blows. Hornets will resume play inside the final 5 minutes. Third goal isn't required, but would be appreciated by the coaching staff. And Lynchburg definitely not a team that runs up the score in any way. They're content when they find the lead, but they do want to make sure they're still functioning, still improving. There's Katie Paulette running into trouble, goes to the turf, but the foul is awarded before last year's senior class for the Hornets. They tallied 50 wins. And Hornet Red, you just hope, if you're a coach, that your new freshman class is on a similar trajectory as Rogstad, doing everything to lose the defense. And now on an island, another great pass to Tegan Casey, who crosses, and the offsides call. Wow. If that doesn't give you confidence in Sammy Rogstad, I don't know what will.
I think that's just another play for her. You know, she's so used to making those type of plays, make a defender kind of lose where they're at on the field. Actually made a defender lose her footing, and that just sets up a plethora of options. And she had an opportunity to take it herself, decided to go to the teammate. Whistle was called, but Lynchburg was in a beautiful spot there, all set up by Rogstad's offense.
She almost plays like a midfielder, but still has just that brick wall ability in the back to prevent any offenses from penetrating. Taylor Burton enters the conversation. Final 3 minutes. Near side. Lynchburg able to get the throw back. Now inserted to Katie Paulette. Pass towards the middle. Extra contact. Hornet bench won't love it. Here's the through ball. Flag up again. Offside says really not been the Hornets' friend here in the second half.
Opportunities for the Hornets, and they've capitalized on a couple of them tonight, but this is just definitely got to give you some hope as they get into this out-of-conference schedule. They've put together some really strong showings in the first 3 games of this young season.
Tap forward. Rogstad lets it fall out harmlessly. Well, it's a great part of the season because it feels like so many teams are still optimistic. Lots of soccer to be played here in the next 2 months. Tight defense, middle of the field. Gothic Knights maybe wanting one more opportunity. Here's a lofted cross, finds the gloves of Shepard. Mentioned she hasn't been pressed into action much. She has commanded that back line, but still good to see the calibration. Pham sends the pass back. Much of the final 5 minutes just played right here in the midfield. Hornets will advance to 2-0-1. Undefeated through 3 matches, scoreless are their opponents. It has been a dominant display, and you love to see that the newcomers have been on board. Michaela Hargrove had the first goal of the season, now going a little bit older, but still some of the youngsters, as Lauren Orner and Ava Olsen slot the tallies for the Hornets that are up 2-0. It'll be Meredith on the docket tomorrow. New Jersey City has a date with Roanoke. And fitting that it's named the Schellenberger Classic, because it's great to be back on Shelley. Great to see the first win under the Friday night lights. And all signs pointing to go for this Lynchburg squad. Kevin, you look back at this 90 minutes. It was a lot of great defense from Lynchburg. Kate Shepard has another shutout, but once again, the offense finds its way, and despite having a number of opportunities, as you see on your screen, right and left, especially in that first half, Lynchburg able to avail.
Yeah, I think that was one of the biggest keys coming into this game for Lynchburg. We know what they can do defensively, even with that young core. They proved they have the ability to play at a super high level. It was honestly all about that offense, finding opportunities. Not only finding the opportunities, but as you see on your screen, being able to capitalize on quite a few of them. Made a really big presence here tonight. I think it gives them nothing but confidence as they head on into the heart of their schedule.
There's a sense of cautious aggression. You want to be careful. You want to make sure that the chances you're taking from beyond the 18-yard box aren't exactly foolish, but they are going to result in a lot of production. And I think some of those longer shots today, especially the free kicks, you look at some of the physicality in this game and the way that it's going down. If you don't take those chances, maybe the goalies aren't as worried about what's coming their way.
Yeah, and I think Lynchburg's just doing a really good job right now of finding opportunities from all across the field. Their passing has been absolutely phenomenal. Again, you saw that on display tonight. Some of the opportunities they didn't capitalize on, but they were there, and that's something that they can build on. Being able to continue to see those good looks as the season progresses, they do nothing but build confidence as they head in to a really tough ODAC schedule later in the season.
Still a lot of time until we get there, but looking at the stats from this one, 15 shots for the Hornets, just 2 for New Jersey City. It's 2-0, the final tally by the Hornets, and a physical game. Tomorrow, Meredith on the docket for a 7 o'clock start. What needs to change? What needs to stay the same for this Lynchburg team?
I really don't think much needs to change. Just seeing that game earlier today, I think they're going to be able to pressure the Meredith defensive unit. If they can continue to find opportunities like this tonight, they should be able to capitalize. Meredith shut out today by Roanoke, and I think that's actually going to give the Hornets a bit of confidence, especially that defensive unit, knowing they're going to have an opportunity to go out and potentially pitch another shutout.
Going to be a lot of fun. We'll be right back with you. Evan and Kevin have enjoyed this Friday night. One more tomorrow against Meredith. Big thanks to everybody on the broadcast side. For Grayson, JP, AD, Al, Jonas, and Joe. He is Kevin Nestor. I'm Evan Gates saying so long from the Hill City.